Hallelujah. You see that taunting penalty against Iowa State? He raced a touchdown.
That's ridiculous. He barely skipped.
And even if he did,
exactly, they need to chill out, man. It's just
it's like they just want to insert themselves in the game. Like, what are you doing?
I just don't. That coach was irate.
Yeah,
as he should.
Justifiably so.
Yeah. Just egregious. All right.
Oh my goodness. It's like, I don't even get 5 seconds.
What?
Nothing. Kids yelling. All right. We're ready to wing it?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's
we got it.
Thank you for tapping into some Untapped Keg, our sobriety and mental health podcast, part of the Believe Podcast Network. I'm one of your hosts, RJ Zimmerman, here with my good friend, Monte Ball. How you doing, big guy?
I'm all right. I'm all right, man. I'm all right. It's a bit stressful times, not significantly, but just taking care of some things. But when you look at the big picture, things are going well. Just working through some stuff right now, but all is relatively well. How about yourself?
I'm finding out that I'm older than I used to be. A little bit out of shape. When things get sore, they get more sore than what they should be. Making sure I got that Excedrin around the house. Played in a softball tournament yesterday. So
yeah,
apparently 4 or 5 games is too many in a row for me now, which is a little sad because I'm not that old, but just means I need to get out and do some more active stuff. Figured chasing these kids around would be enough, but they got me on my toes. It's Halloween. They're starting to get rambunctious, and that's without candy. So
yeah.
Trying to keep them tired out as best I can. But things are good. Things are taking positive. Things are looking positive. Excited about some of the stuff we got coming up. Excited about the changes that I made in life that are starting to add up into positivity and stuff. Today's a big cleaning day around the house, so things will be good once, that's something that I've noticed about me and then my partner is when we get stressed out when things are a little messy. So even like a little bit of mess, we get a little stressed out about it. So when we can get that cleaned up, which I'm going to be doing immediately after this, continuing to clean up, that helps all of our moods and kind of sets the stage for it. So
absolutely. Yeah. Clean the clutter. What's the saying? I mean, forgot the saying, but I think it
happy wife, happy life.
No, not that. Just like cleaning your room, cleaning like the physical, like cleaning out the clutter. Whoa, excuse me. Cleaning out the clutter. I don't know, helps out mentally, I guess, cleans the clutterness in your mind of some sort. I mean, this is a difficult time for most people. That's one thing that I really wanted to kind of jump into is, we're heading into, we're in the fall, but we're heading into the dark fall, if you know what I mean. It's where over here in the Midwest, it's getting dark at about, it's going to start getting dark here about 5 p.m. once we set our clocks forward.
Fall back.
Backwards, yes.
You spring ahead and you fall back.
There it is. Yep, once we set our clocks back. So, a lot of people struggle, during this time. And I may be one, I'm not sure yet. I mean, but I do like the fall. I do like the winters, but seasonal affective disorder, SAD, is the acronym that most people hear in the Midwest struggle with because of that reason. It gets pretty dark pretty early. So some folks are, going to work, waking up when it's dark, going to work at a cubicle, barely, I mean, if they're even seeing the sun a little bit as they're getting into work, and then getting out of work when it's dark. Really takes a toll on folks here in the Midwest. And so for me, when we talk about seasonal affective disorder, I kind of want to jump into, what are some of the things that, that we can share here at Untapped Keg for folks to sort of, help to combat that, because it is getting a little colder. Not a little, it's getting significantly colder pretty quickly as well. And so going outside is going to be limited. Or I'm essentially hanging outside is going to be limited. Fall sports outside, recreational, limited. So what do we do, man?
Go sledding. Go, just because it's colder doesn't mean you can't go outside, right? You just got to dress for it. That's something. Don't be afraid to go outside and have some fun in the snow, right? When it snows. It's tough because I was lucky enough that I had a job where I worked outdoors. So, yeah. But I would go to work in the dark and I would drive home in the dark. And that gets tiring in and of itself, even though you're working outside and you can see the sun and you enjoy some of the more winter and fall weather. It adds up when you're just dark to dark and you're not getting to do what you want to do. And then you start to feel you have very limited time to do things. So you start to feel this internal clock go on, like, I need to get things done now. Like, I don't have much time. I need to get it done in the daylight. Like, you start to hurry things up and get a little bit rushed into things, and that creates a lot of stress and anxiety in itself too. So, there's multiple different layers that things happen, and sometimes taking, stepping back and taking a deep breath and maybe, lengthening something out to take more of your weekend, even though, that's something that stinks too. Like, you want to do things on a Saturday, so then Sunday you can have all day to do whatever you want. That's something that you can think about too. Like, if I do 4 hours on a Saturday, well, Sunday I can only have to spend an hour to do it, and I can wake up early and do it. Things like that. But it's tough. I don't have all the answers, drink your milk, eat some cheese, get some vitamin D that way. But
those are probably the worst things to actually do. Because milk's not good for you.
Milk is great for you. What are you talking about? Yeah, it is. Drink a glass of milk with your dinner, you're going to be great.
No, there's a strong link with milk and cancer.
Yeah, okay.
Very
all right.
Strong.
All right, big alternative milks.
Dude, we're not supposed to be drinking another animal's milk. That's weird. And I don't understand.
Well, we're not supposed to eat baby chickens either, but we eat eggs, so.
So true. That's a weird thing that Wisconsinites do up here. There's one person I know, and her family, they're just drinking milk with every single meal. I'm like, what is wrong with you?
What's wrong with that? There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, there is. You get drinking milk with meatloaf.
Okay, it tastes delicious. It enhances the flavor of everything. What you're doing is you're taking a drink after you take a bite, and it's resetting your palate, right? Because milk is a base, so it takes it back to almost to neutral. So now you can taste the flavor of what you're going to be eating next even more. So
that's why Wisconsinites all look the same.
What's that?
I think
bald,
I think
glasses, and a beard.
The milk and cheese, it's aggressive, but again, yes, getting into the fall, seasonal affective disorder is a huge thing, and I know that there are going to be some folks that are going to be struggling with that, and we just want to know, I guess just share like you folks, you guys can reach out to us absolutely when it comes to that, because it's going to get stressful. And getting into holiday season too, as we talked about earlier, some folks that you don't want to see, you're going to be around.
Your triggers, right? I mean, you know,
absolutely.
All your friends, go back home for Thanksgiving and all your friends are going out. Can you go out and not pick up? Can you go out and not fall into old habits? Can you be around your family and be able to find your coping mechanism to be able to handle some of the stresses that come with that, right? Like, you know, some people don't have to deal with that, but some people do. It's a big deal. What do you have for combating it? I kind of laid some stuff out there, but very little. You know, finding a therapist will help, someone to talk to.
It's a good question, because I think it's obviously it's case by case. Every single person is differently. Seasonal affective disorder lies on the spectrum. Some experience it way worse than others. But obviously, I think the easiest ways to combat it is nutrition, big time. Yes, receiving that vitamin D, whether it's naturally or obviously ingested. And I think you just really have to plan as well too. You really have to plan. I think when we start to get into this time of the year, most people kind of like relax a bit when it comes to their schedules, or just kind of just like ride out the rest of the year into the new year. And I think you know, kind of going with that approach, you can allow for the unexpected to be way more of a surprise, if that makes any sense. Because if you don't have a plan for these holidays, these plans for, you know, having an escape route for, you know, if your toxic family member of some sort is going to be around, or toxic ex-partner or some sort is going to be around, having sort of a plan. I think if you don't focus on working out that plan, then you're going to be unprepared for it. So I think you got to prepare. You have to focus on your nutrition and try to work out if you can, whether it's outside or indoors. I think that's a huge one as well too. Physical activity, big time when it comes into the fall and winter seasons.
Yeah, that's a really good point, because sometimes I don't feel like doing anything, but then all of a sudden I get out and I do it, like, let's say play basketball, right? Feel like, I don't really feel like it today. Have a friend that pushes you, you go play, and you're like, wow, I'm really glad that I came, because I feel really, really good right now, right? Like it unlocks those hormones that kind of help you make you feel good. Whether it's, you know, doing 10 push-ups in between commercials or whatever you can do, or just getting up and walking around your house for 10 minutes at a time. Whatever you can do to kind of get the blood flowing, get your circulation going.
Well, okay. I think we got that part out the way right there. I think we want to talk about, let's hear some of this the softball that you were doing yesterday. I think let's talk about some things that, you know, that you're doing to help keep the flow. You know what I mean? Living in a new place now, new state.
Yeah.
Trying to create some form of normalcy, of your schedule.
Well, not just that, but, you know, I'm a stay-at-home dad now. So how do I meet new people? You know, like coworkers is pretty much how I've kind of met people and branched out. I mean, it's how I met your sister, right? It's how I met my partner. Really, when you move to a new place, coworkers are they help you kind of find some normalcy, learn about things. Obviously, we've had the family friends out here that have been huge in taking us to new places. But, you know, if you go to a park with other kids, sometimes, especially men, you know, we have problems with just like striking up conversations with other dads or whatever, and being like, hey, you seem cool. Could I get your number? You know, maybe we could have a play date or hang out and shoot the breeze, do whatever. That's not something that I'm very good at yet. I got to work on that. So one thing that Ashley made me do is try and find a softball team, because that's a decent way to, I'll meet people, but not just that, but I enjoy doing it, like get out and do something for myself. So I joined a Facebook group and put it out there. Hey, this is the position I play. I just moved from Wisconsin. I'd like to just play. I'll play whatever position. And I got hit up a couple weeks ago to go to that tournament. I got to play like 3 innings and 4 games. So that was not a lot of fun. And then yesterday I got hit up and I got to play every single game. Well, I'm an outfielder. That's what I've been since I was a kid. I've been center fielder and I'm pretty good at it. So that's what I like to say. Like, hey, I'm a decent outfielder. Like, I like to play but I'll play wherever. Well, yesterday we had too many outfielders and nobody to play third base. And I've played ball my entire life. Like, I understand situations. I know like the basics of playing every position. I played shortstop for a little bit. Well, when I was a kid, that's all I played, like young kid, like little league. And then I played third a little bit. Well, I haven't played third in like 20 years, to be honest. So I'm like, yeah, I'll play third, whatever. I got a decent arm. I'll be able to get it to first. They're like, are you sure? I'm like, yeah, it'll be fine. Like, whatever, we can switch if we need to. So first ball gets hit to me and I throw it across the diamond. Everybody's jaw drops and they're like, oh, okay, you do have an arm. But, just getting out there and meeting people and people on the other team, when I get playing, especially in something like this where I don't care if I win because I don't have a connection with the team yet, or honestly the area, I just want to have fun playing. And I had a lot of fun yesterday. So, just talking to people and connecting and finding that, whether it's Wisconsin or it's Virginia, people are nice. Like, that's their first disposition. If you're nice to people, people are going to be nice to you. And, met some really nice people and asked me to play in a couple leagues, asked me to play some more tournaments. So that's cool. And then, yeah, my kids got to come out and watch. So that was fun because they like baseball already. They want to throw the ball around. So we're going to go out and do that today. But just putting myself out there, obviously it may not seem like it, but I am a little bit of an introvert. Like, I usually will sit there and let everybody talk until like somebody kind of includes me. And then as I get comfortable, I'll be more extroverted, but for the most part, I'll just keep to myself. So it was a good group of guys in that sense where, they went out of their way to include me and stuff. So that was really nice too. And just, working through your nerves to find something new to do, can lead to positive things as well.
Right.
So absolutely. Doing that, I mean, we were doing so much with the kids too. Like, today we're going to go to the Halloween zoo thing that they have going on. So that's going to be fun with them to see their faces, and they're dressing up as Ninja Turtles. They love doing that. They are, it is really, since we've been here, we've kind of been doing a lot of stuff outside the house, which is nice, which is different than what we were doing in Wisconsin. We're pretty much everything we were doing was in the house, but we're also doing things that are outside because the weather. Right. I'm okay with being outside in hot weather, but my partner's not okay with being outside in colder weather. And by colder, I mean like 50 degrees and colder. So with it being warmer here, being able to spend outside time with the family has been a nice change as well.
Nice, man. That's important. It's important stuff. Important stuff. I want to talk sports, man.
Okay.
This stuff's a little boring.
Well, I was surprised you wanted to talk about me playing softball because, listen, I like I said, I haven't played third base in 20 years. I made every single play that came my way. Like I made 0 errors all day. And I made a couple impressive plays that I was like shocked at myself that I made, but
right.
It was all don't think, just react. And that's when, good things happen. So.
Yeah. I want to talk about, I didn't mean boring. Yeah. I want to, the whole fandom thing. I'm always intrigued, the whole, fandom and how that impacts one's life. I mean, especially now, every sport's playing right now.
I mean, baseball, you have 2 teams left. So unless you're a fan of those 2 teams, your team is done. So, as a Brewer fan, we had high hopes going into this playoffs, but their weakness came to bite them, which was the weakness that I was talking about all year. And that's
being in Wisconsin.
Well, hitting, right? Having timely hits. They had a lot of players left on base. They had opportunities. But that was the first thing I talked about at the beginning of the year was they had no timely hits. They got on that amazing run in the middle of the season. And then it just felt like it was back to home run or bust. And that's when they are not a very good offensive team. I mean, honestly, there's no offense in baseball that if you're home run or bust, you're a good offense. I'm sorry. Home runs are great. Home runs are great at any moment. The people who say home runs are rally killers don't understand baseball. Like that's not even close to true. You score a run anytime. It doesn't matter how you score a run. That is going to keep momentum, right?
It's like saying scoring a touchdown is a rally killer.
Yeah. It's like, but there's analysts, like people who,
that's the objective.
Yeah. To do telecasts of baseball games that will say, well, home runs are rally killers. If you get a bunch of base hits and then you hit a home run and then all of a sudden you get out. No. That's not even close to true. But anyway, if your offense relies on the long ball, when it comes to October baseball, you're not going to win games. You can look at the LA Dodgers and how they were this year. The best team, the most wins in baseball is the Giants, but the best team in baseball was the Dodgers. I'm sorry. It is like their roster from top to bottom, their pitching staff, everything. The Dodgers were set up for it. They did not make the playoffs because their home runs dried up a little bit. That's what is overlooked with baseball. Anyway, getting off that because we have a different show for that. You have all these teams with fans that were hoping for good things that their teams are not playing now. Like, it does affect you. Like, I feel like it's a disappointing season. I was upset when the Brewers lost, and a lot of my friends were upset. And in my opinion, they were upset at the wrong thing. But like the thing that it's just, you have so much hopes, and then to have it dragged out from underneath you, like obviously it's a negative emotional response, and how we invest so much of our hopes. And it's like, you just get this bubble inside of you that is lifting up, and when it bursts, and you come crashing down. Sometimes it can be hard to manage.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's, I love this topic because, I do some things around Badger football, and so, I'm around fans, I'm around the fandom, I'm listening, like literally listening to folks speak. And, I always find it interesting because I playing the game for so long, essentially, I've only been a fan for 5 years. I've been a fan my whole entire life, but you know what I mean? Now no longer playing the sport of football. I've now been this kind of fan, not extreme fandom, but this kind of fan for the last 5 years. So I've had the opportunity to watch the game from this perspective with folks who are, on the extreme level of that fandom. And it's always mind-boggling to me how much they are internally invested. And again, I'm not saying that because when I say that, I don't want for people to think that I'm I'm saying it's a negative for you to have be that much emotionally invested. That is not what I'm saying. I just want to kind of understand it. You know, us players always talk about it a lot, I think, because we've playing it, you are physically and emotionally invested. So I've always tried to figure out, how do I become so emotionally invested to where to a team that I've never played for. They don't even know who I am, to where it impacts my household, impacts my work life balance. That's something that has always been very interesting to me. Very interesting. Because if you think about it, the game of football, so let's just take the Packers, right? Or we can take the Broncos or what have you. In any NFL team that fans are extremely, fond of,
Mm-hmm.
to where like it impacts their daily lives. If the team loses, it's like, well, there were other things out there that you were not, that like what I'm trying to say, that you could be a fan of something else, but it's not impacting your life the way that these sports do. So I've always wondered that, like the sports psychology with fans. I've kind of
we need to find a sports psychologist to come on, or just a psychologist who studied this and lay it out for us, right? Because I agree. Like, I've been in it my entire life. Like, I've talked about how my fandom has been muted since I've put human beings underneath the helmets. There's kind of that turn, but at the same time, there's not. You still have those people that are just like, they're all about the logo. They're not about the people underneath. But and that's fine.
But before you keep going, I want to, but I just want to add this part real quick too. And that's the thing. I'm not saying that it's a bad thing. So folks who are going to listen to this or hear this, I'm not like dogging on you. Essentially, I'm not saying,
unless you do like really negative things because of it, then we're dogging on you.
Absolutely. But it's like, I respect it, not the negative stuff. I respect your extreme fandom if it's a healthy way, if that even makes sense. But go ahead, continue.
Well, I've been a fan my entire life, obviously. I've had a lot of I don't know, I will just get despondent like when the season ends before it should, or I even go in with like as a pessimist. I'm like, we're gonna lose, trying to brace myself for what's about to happen, even though it doesn't work. I've talked about that before too.
Question though, so why would, I'm gonna throw a question in there for you, and then I'm gonna shut up because I really want to hear what you say. Because get to this question eventually. You don't have to right now, but why would someone why would they invest so much emotionally, to where if the team loses or ends the season prematurely, they're in significant distress? Why would you do that? Invest so much emotionally into an organization that you have absolutely zero control over? Why would you set yourself up for failure like that?
That's what we got to ask that psychologist. Yeah, right. That's what we got to ask a psychologist, because I honestly don't do it on like it's kind of like a reflex now. Like, I will say things out loud, but internally I still get hope, right? I still build myself up. Like, the elation, that high that you feel, you're chasing that. So you put that behind other people. Like, when you were playing, that high that you felt, now you gotta chase that somehow. Yeah. Well, if you're a kid and you feel it, now you chase that again because that's what you're looking for. So, sports are a way to turn our minds off and just like enjoy a moment, like what's going on right now. It's not always the case, but generally, that's the case. Right. But then you also have a feeling like, the superstitions, the, like how loud you cheer, like that. whether you listen to the radio or watch TV makes a difference. Like you create these things in your mind. Okay, this is actually making a difference. And it's tribalism, right? You're a part of a tribe. So you feel like you're connected to something that's greater than yourself. You are making it so that it's, it is similar to religion. Like you're putting yourself into a higher power, into something that you don't have control over. But if you're good, then good things will happen to you, kind of a thing. So as far as I don't even know like why we connect so hard with sports, but it's not just sports. It's, that movie franchise that you love. It is, DC and Marvel. It is that TV show that you love, Game of Thrones, right? Like it's other things like this that create these super fans that
if they take the story a different direction, people are just.
I mean, look at that last season of Game of Thrones. Like, dude, people were wrecked for months over that. People still don't talk about Game of Thrones because of how that ended. So
that's so true. Yeah, because there was so much of a hype for that as it was going on.
Yeah,
you couldn't look anywhere without seeing GOT.
Yeah.
Once that final season happened, that like last episode, 2-3 episodes, it went freaking radio silent.
It's funny because it was erased from the collective consciousness in a way that I can't remember something. Not even the Matrix was erased from the collective consciousness because the second and third sequels were not good, right? But the first movie was so good that people still love the Matrix.
That first one, phenomenal,
right? So with sports, it's because it's supposed to be the ultimate test of skill. Like
but for you as the fan,
right?
Though, that's just
the thing.
Questions. Why would you? And again, I'm coming from the standpoint of I'm not bashing anybody for this because I'm not in your shoes. I'm not living in your life. I'm not anything like that. But these are questions that current players have and many former players have as well. Especially now with the rise of social media, the rise now of direct communication with athletes. It's why do you invest so much into something that you have no control over? It's essentially like the stock market, I guess, but
you get tangible. I guess that's not true. Yes. That's not true either because
that analogy, that parallel does not really work there. But my question again, you already know the question. Yeah, why do fans invest so much to that extreme level to something like that they have no control over? You're setting yourself up for failure because obviously if the team loses, you're going to be distraught. So what is it, RJ? Like what do you think it is? Is it like an ego thing, like bragging rights at work?
Is it?
You know what I mean?
Is it just the fact that you want the fact that you want yourself to like believe you have control over something you don't, right? Like, is that what it is? Like, you want to feel like your life, something is bigger in your life than what it actually is, right? Like if they win, like, and you think that you're helping, is that like making your life greater? I guess maybe, right? Like, is it you want to accomplish great things and this is one of the ways that you feel like you can? Or is there, I don't know. I don't know what it is about hitching it, right? Like,
right. I'm kind of, I guess, rhetorically asking.
It is rhetorically. Like we're just discussing this. It's just a casual conversation, right? Like we don't know. We're gonna put it out there. We need to hit up a psychologist who looks into fandoms because we want to know these answers, right?
We got one.
We do.
I already shared
Oh yeah, yeah, you're right. You're right. So like we will be going over that. Like this is something that is very interesting, right? And I mean, especially like you look at European soccer, like how fanatical they get over that, like literal gangs, literal like more than like fights, right? Like I mean, we're talking brawls and riots, like
decapitation.
Yeah.
And in some extreme cases, unfortunately, yeah, that's the extreme levels. And I think I'm not. It
is part of ego, though, right? It's pride. It's a lot of pride.
Right. But here's the thing, too. I'm not giving those European teams, not even European. Let's just say FIFA as a whole, because some of those European cities are already filthy rich. But I'm not with what I'm about to say next. I'm not giving them an excuse to be to that degree of fandom, to that extreme. I'm not giving an excuse, but some of those I do understand it to a certain point. In some of those very poor cities across the big pond, that essentially they need that sports team to win.
Well,
their soccer club to win, to bring money to the city, because they don't have a lot of resources coming in. That game of soccer, that game of football for them over there.
I mean, isn't that
like their main
the same
source
here? Couldn't you put that the same here, right? And I mean, you know, you have cities attached to it, but then states as well. So that source of pride, you know.
Yeah, I mean, the bidding for Super Bowls is pretty aggressive. There's a scratch and claw fight when cities bid for trying to get the Super Bowl in their city. I know that's obviously, we understand the reasons for that. Bars,
everything
just happened. Hotels, absolutely.
Restaurants.
So I've always wondered that. So this question, this topic that we're talking about is why would you, as a grown adult, understanding that you have no control over the outcome of that game? Nothing wrong with being a fan, nothing wrong with cheering, screaming, what have you. But why would you allow for that to impact you so heavily, to where it impacts your work, it impacts your relationships with your spouse, your girlfriend, what have you, impacts your relationship with your friends or your children? Why would you set that's just my question. And again, I've asked it 30 times already, but that's the question. And I think that's a good question that we should ask, put out on a poll as well. Not really a poll, put a question out on Twitter to our followers as well. Why do fans who are that extreme, why do they set themselves up for failure? Yeah.
It's almost like gambling, right? Because you're setting yourself up when you're gambling for that failure, but you're chasing that high, man.
Tangible, you know, if you win, it's like, okay, I just actually won some cash.
But you're just gambling emotionally. Like that's your tangibles, your emotions. Like the elation after a win.
I see. Okay, I get it.
I don't. But it's such a tough question to answer. Like, how do you put words to it? Like this, it's almost like being very religious. Like, how do you put words to your emotions that you're attached to your religion? Like, yeah, you can talk about what you believe and what it's for, but how do you put words to the emotions surrounding it? Because that's what we're trying to ask. We're not trying to ask why you believe what you believe. It's interesting. It is interesting. Like, it's something that I've tried to like limit, like put a pillow at the bottom to cushion myself with. Like, that's why I speak being a negative Nancy, because then I will be, but it still doesn't limit it as much as I wish it would. I've tried to pull back from being such a fan following, but that still, it just pulls me back in.
There's no wrong with being a fan, and that's why I made sure to say that nothing wrong with being a fan. I mean, I'm a fan of the Broncos. But when the Broncos, and I've played for the Broncos, but when the Broncos lose, I'm like, all right, don't get them next time.
Yeah, maybe, probably not, but maybe.
Right. But that's it. I mean, I like, all right, they'll get them next time. Like, dude, I played for them. Like, I physically invested. So that's always what my question is. And then again, not everybody's the same. I understand that. But we know some of those alarming statistics that happen in the state of Wisconsin when the Packers lose. And I just wonder why that you allow for that to happen.
Yeah.
When you have control.
I mean, and that's something like when you're watching, like, let's say old Jordan highlights or the banner being unveiled of the Bucks winning, the emotions that it evokes, it's just because of what the skill that you're seeing. Like, you get goosebumps watching those things, right? Like, I mean, watching certain plays from the finals gives me goosebumps. Watching the Brewers, winning the, Central Division gives me goosebumps. Like, why? I don't know. It just does. It just evokes these feelings, but why does it evoke these feelings? I can't put words to why. It just, and that's the part that I wish that I could talk about the why, right? Like, yeah. It's kind of like when you are not a parent and people talk about the emotions of being a parent, and you're just like, you can't explain it. You just have to experience it, right? Like, you can try to explain it, but the feelings are so strong and it's just unique. It is a unique feeling. So, like, you can watch your friends be happy and watch your friends live their dreams, but that still doesn't evoke the same emotions as watching your kids be happy, as watching your kids get something of their dreams. Like, that's something that is obviously, being a fan is more muted than that, but that's like the parallel that I'm coming to besides religion, is just experiencing it and I honestly just, I wish that I could just be objective, and there's people that can be, and I envy them. I don't know what it is. So,
here's the thing. It's not the, well, what I'm saying here is I understand the excitement. I understand the happiness when they win. So I guess everything that I've said, I'm only speaking directly to the negative emotions that come after a loss. I understand the excitement, especially if you paid for tickets or if you paid for the NFL package, and if you actually financially invested to watch every single game of your team and that team wins. I understand that. It's like, okay, good. I watched, I paid money to watch, and they won. So I feel happy about that. I'm good. But my thing is when they lose, it's like, did you not understand that you have no control over whether they win or lose? So you should go into the situation saying, I'm excited. I'm going to be excited. I'm excited before the game starts. I'm going to be excited if the team wins. But if the team loses, hey, it sucks. Dang. But, I'm not going to allow for it to impact, my work. I know many Packers fans who, and again, I'm just saying Packers. I'm not picking out the Packers, but I live here in Wisconsin. So I'm sure Broncos fans do it too. I'm sure Ravens fans do it, etc. Most definitely probably Chiefs fans. But I know a lot of people don't go to work the next day if their team loses.
Yeah.
That's a problem.
Yeah.
That's a problem. That's a problem.
Especially, depending on how they lose sometimes, right? Like, that's sometimes when they get blown out, like, people are super depressed more so than like losing by a field goal at the last second. Yeah, I don't see. I'd rather blown out. I don't know. Like, yeah, same.
Then they get dragged to the last play and then to lose, that hurts way more. But again, I'm not, and I don't, again, I'm gonna say it last time, I'm not coming down on folks. This is honestly a very genuine question. Shouldn't you go into the situation understanding that there is a great chance of this team losing?
Well, that you're either going to win or you're going to lose, and that's how it's going to be, right? It's two outcomes. Like, yeah, sure, you can tie, but how often does that happen? Not often. So,
but it's a very complex topic.
It is. I'm excited that we're gonna have a guest on that can speak more scientifically about this, because that could probably help more people. So stay tuned for that. Stay tuned. We're gonna kind of close this out. It's been more of a casual show, but what have you been doing lately to decompress, to kind of reset yourself? What's something that you've been doing that's putting you in a more neutral mood or positive mood when you have negative feelings?
Yeah, man. I really enjoy this time of the year. I do know obviously SAD comes about. Maybe I'm impacted by it, maybe I'm not. I would assume probably, but I really enjoy watching some of the new series that they got on Netflix or Prime during this time, because there's some really good stuff that happens, or excuse me, that's put on these platforms. Good movies, good TV shows during this time of the year. But outside of that, because I don't really like counting watching TV as decompressing.
But it does count if it helps you to decompress. That counts.
True. I don't know, man. I need to find something. Wow. I'm sitting here thinking, and I need to figure that out.
I hear you. Well, I hear you. So
I need to figure that out. Yeah. Wow.
Going outside and doing stuff like, being a stay-at-home dad, like taking the kids to the park. I used to think, then I can just kind of do my own stuff, let them run around, they can have fun. But it hasn't been doing it for me. I've kind of learned that I need to, like, let's say, cook to help me decompress a little bit, try new things in the kitchen. Video games have really been there for me the past few weeks, where at night I've been playing and I've been staying up later, and I've just been able to, it's been able to help reset my mind compared to where I was. Like, there was like a 2-month stretch right before we moved to right after we moved where I didn't get to play really anything. And then now I found a game that I've kind of been able to just play and help decompress myself. And it's really given me a feeling of accomplishment during this game as well. So, then there's other things that I want to play. And one thing I want to say is we need more like 10 to 12 hour games so that, you can finish them and feel accomplished, but you're actually doing something in there too, because man, these long, like 25 to 40 hour games are just too long for people who have, like 3 hours a week to game.
Right. I mean, yeah, dude, that's what that's why sports games, man, are just so awesome. Just because,
yeah,
like FIFA.
Well, we need to get into some Back for Blood, because we don't have to dedicate like half hour at a time to that,
right?
And then it'd be starting over. And who doesn't like shooting zombies, right?
It's all right.
Right. You gotta play with friends.
You're missing out, man. You're missing out. You're so heavy. These one player, like,
no, I like the multiplayers. Kid games. What?
Ratchet and Clank?
That's an every age game. That's not just a kid game. And I've been playing Deathloop lately. Thank you very much. That is not a kid game.
That is not a kid game. No, that is not a kid game. But sports, I played both. I really want you to come to the sports side, man. Like, not even FIFA, but baseball's, I love it. The show, what else are we playing? 2K. 2K's it's fun, but it's not as fun as FIFA. But dude, we've been playing Rocket League.
Getting into all the hits.
Dude, heavy. You got to come to Rocket League.
Yeah, that's one game that is like always going to be there, right? Like, love it. Knockout City, we got to play some of that. Honestly, I need to get back into Apex because that game, every time I watch it, I'm like, yeah, that gameplay is just so...
That's what we play heavily now. It is the most that we play right now is Apex and
Rocket League.
Rocket League. Yeah.
The nice thing about Rocket League is you only need 10 minutes and you're done with the game, right? Like it's so quick. I mean, similar to Apex too, because I feel like you win a game of Apex and it's been 20 minutes.
Right. So, Apex now has the ranked arenas. So
yeah.
So that's all we do where it's quick. It's in and out. Yeah. I guess the only key game that you were playing was Ratchet and Clank.
Once again, kid game. That's for all ages. Listen, there's adult humor in there more than kid humor.
Are you serious?
Just because it's cartoon doesn't mean it's for kids. Yeah.
I know. I know.
Yeah, there's a lot of games that are going to be coming out, but I think I'm going to go back and play some old ones too. Like I've been looking at this Hollow Knight you probably know nothing about, but like that's, I think I need to play that game to try it out. But you know, and then that new Metroid came out that I kind of want to try, but at the same time, I'm gonna wait for that to come down in price. Like, you know, the From Software game, Sekiro, want to play that.
See, I like those one-player games, but I don't feel that accomplishment. Just beating up on NPCs.
Yeah, but when the NPCs beat you back, you do feel the accomplishment. You just got to play the games where the NPCs beat you back.
But who can you brag to?
Well, you can talk about the cool things that you can do. Like, you don't just sit there and like shoot them and move on. You try and do cool stuff. It's kind of like GTA 3, right?
Who do you...
Other people who played the game.
Like, how do you rank up? How do you can be the best in the nation at
speedrunning? Try to do it the fastest. Like I said, try to do it with no weapons. Try to do it without being seen. Try to do it without alerting anybody. Like stuff like that.
I'm the best at FIFA. Try to challenge me if you want. Like that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. So then you can do speed runs. Like I'll beat it faster than you, kind of a thing, right? Like, or I'll do it, you know, with just a knife, and I'll only kill 2 people. Like that kind of thing.
I guess. I mean, I understand that. Yeah, there's a lot of those on YouTube, but for me, it's just like the old. That's why I really wanted to. The
you gotta make your own fun.
Liked it, but I just don't like playing against NPCs all the time because you can't. I don't feel accomplished whooping up on computer.
You got to find that one game that you connect with. That's that single player like that. And then you can use that to make a lot of different games feel that way, right? Like, you know, in Destiny, when we used to get 6 people together and do raids together, like that was a feeling of accomplishment. Like that's huge. I mean, 5-6 hours of playing and you got puzzles that you're solving and you're all working as a team to get to the end. Yeah. You beat this big boss that takes like all of your skills put together. Like, and then you can take that and use it when you're playing other games too. And you're using all of your skills and doing these puzzles and learning patterns and stuff. And then you're like, wow, I did it myself. I didn't need any of the other people to help me. Like I could do it by myself. And there's a sense of accomplishment with that, you know, that goes a long way too. So,
I mean, I understand it a little bit, obviously.
Right.
Loving Zelda. But I mean, it's I guess just now with
you want to talk about kids game, loving Zelda.
Touche. The gaming realm now, just with the player v player, has expanded significantly since obviously Bungie just mastered matchmaking. I think it's I don't know, and it's obviously it's an ego thing. That's literally what it is. I can't brag to NPCs or I can't rub it in the NPC. And for those,
Oh,
who know,
you sure can. It's just that you're gonna be made fun of when you do it. So
exactly. But real quick, for those who don't know, NPC stands for non-playable character, or non-player character, what have you. Just a computer. But anyways, I mean, to each their own. I that's the beauty about the gaming realm.
it's gonna, there's a lot of good games gonna be coming out.
Yeah,
and you just got to get involved in the story, like, because the thing with video games is you feel like you are connecting. Yeah, exactly. Like you are driving that story. You are causing this to go. You're connected to that character. So that's one thing that goes with it too. But wrapping up, we've had a little bit casual conversations today. That's kind of what we wanted, because we've had some serious shows in the past couple of weeks, right? But what's that?
I said, I'm so black, right? I look purple. Sorry, go ahead.
I didn't even notice it till you just said something. Where can people find you, Mons?
Yeah, you guys can find me on Twitter, MonteBall28, Instagram, MonteBall. Untapped Keg pages as well on all social media platforms. So please reach out to us, topics, questions, what have you. Today we wanted to go, again, like RJ stated, the more our ADHD route, to kind of keep it casual, Sunday casual today, because we have a good list of folks we're going to bring on. As RJ stated, the sports psychologist we'll be bringing on. And that's going to be my main question. Got that bad boy in the chamber. First question.
Right.
And what we talked about today. So we appreciate you guys' patience, but in listening to us. RJ, where can they find you?
Like Mon said, Untapped Keg pages, Untapped Keg Twitter. Just look up Untapped Keg. We're there. We're looking for some more fan engagement. Like us on Facebook, subscribe on YouTube, hit that bell so you know when we're live. And you know what? Like, give us a rating on iTunes, please. 5-star rating. Leave us a review. Let us know how we're doing. If you want to hear us talk about a topic, please hit us up, Twitter, Facebook, anything. If you're having a hard time, reach out. We'll get back to you. If you are, you want to just chat about video games that you're playing, you want to just whatever, we'll hit you back. We try to get there as quick as we can. Email us if you have something more personal you want to talk about, untappedkeg@gmail.com. And then we're also trying to make our videos better, trying to kind of level up our production design. And with that, we could really use some help. If you have the funds, please go to Ko-fi, Ko-fi, and look up Untapped Keg, and even $1 will add up. So whatever you could spare, we'd really appreciate it. On that front, that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to make this as best as we can. We're going to try to grow a community. We're going to be more involved. And you'll see some more personal posts. You'll see some more polls. You'll see us try and ask questions from you. And we will be trying to interact with chat a little bit more to see, we want to involve the community as much as we can. And we've realized that we need to do a little bit more to get that. So that's what we're going to be working on. If you know anybody who would like to come on, hit us up. We'll hit them up and we'll bring them on. If you want us to try to get on with somebody else, you hit us up. We'll hit them up and we'll see what we can do. There's enough space. We want everybody to be happy. We're trying to create a positive space. And we're not always going to be in a positive headspace. Like, sometimes we get negative. Sometimes we have cravings. Sometimes we need help. So that's why we want to build this community that can help us as well as we help you. So that's what we would love to do. And, this has been Untapped Keg, our sobriety and mental health podcast. We go live Sundays, 9 a.m. Central Time on YouTube. Look us up. We're part of the Believe Podcast Network, BLEAV. Look them up. They got a lot of different podcasts to listen to. There's going to be some other things to do over there too. We've been brought to you by Bet Online. Please gamble responsibly. If you get that high and you can do it responsibly, good for you. But if you need help, reach out. We will help you out. We're Untapped Keg, and we'll try to be better tomorrow than we were today. Because at least if we don't make it, we tried. Let's have a good week, everybody. Take care.